Good morning. I'm experimenting here, in case you're wondering. This is the one I've been using, and hopefully it'll straighten itself out in a minute. Because at the moment it's at a jaunty angle, so... Anyway, heading to the warehouse district this morning. It's September the 28th, the day after my anniversary. Beautiful morning. It's about 12 degrees. I actually thought it was raining last night, but I just realized, standing on the front step, that what I was hearing and interpreting as raindrops was leaves falling off the trees. Looks like my lenses are a bit smudged. Let me see if I can clean that up a bit here. Oop, now the gimbal is complaining. Okay, it's okay, gimbal, it's back. Anyway, yeah, so I thought I'd walk up to Everyday Kitchen, which is a coffee shop in the warehouse district that I like to go to, and then maybe have lunch down there as well, and do my editing and writing work. Editing another novel that's coming out this winter. Still behind on my nonfiction work, but that will pick up the pace shortly. I keep saying that, but I mean it. I mean it this time. There is some moisture on the streets. Maybe it did shower last night. Maybe we did have a shower. I don't know. I was asleep, and you know how you interpret sounds and not always sure what you're hearing. It's about 12 to 13 degrees right now. Going again to 21 or 22, so just a beautiful fall day. There is frost in the forecast, but it's quite a ways down the line still. A couple of weeks we'll probably have had some, but we haven't had any yet. It's a little cool right now, but I know from experience that as I walk, I'll be glad I didn't wear a sweater. It's interesting, I was just noticing how you can probably see it up there, that building looks taller because of the trees in front of it than it does when you don't have trees in front of it. It's an interesting thing, the way that our brain reacts to things and interprets the size. They're still working over here in this new building. There's still no sidewalk in front of it. I'll maybe walk up Angus here, just because I walk up Albert all the time, but I'm not going downtown, so this is a slightly different walk. Hello, Michelle. Good morning. Riding a bicycle the wrong way down that one little piece of one-way street from Bangladesh. It's a long way from here to there. That's definitely going the wrong way down the one-way street. You're not allowed to turn right down there. More of the ubiquitous scooters. This was a Saskatchewan government telephones building at one point. Now it's other things. That's the back of what was the original Saskatchewan government telephones building that now has the Royal Saskatchewan Museum has laboratories in there. As I said, there were a few years ago when there was a big news item, international news item, about a fossil found in amber. And much to my surprise, it was actually in this building, like a block from my house, while I was reading the Reuters news item. Apartment building there. Condos up there on the right. I remember that building being built. It was built sort of like a Lego building. It was modular. It's like each suite was built separately and then connected and clad here to make the finished building. Knew somebody who lived in it for a while. So I was in there once. They were nice. Carry on here across. Apparently you could buy a condo in there right now. Call Jason Cossette, associate broker. It's a nice building, nicely landscaped as well, with the trees here out front. I presume the trees were already there. Well, I guess they're not so much for this building as for the next one. But it's hard to remember. Buildings always look like they've been there forever, but they weren't. You can remember them being built, but after a while you forget what was there before. So now we're on Angus Street. We live on Angus Crescent. This is Angus Street, and there's also an Angus Boulevard, so Mr. Angus, whoever he was, some city councillor, got well recognized. Now up on this corner there was a apartment building that burned, and so what's there replaced that. This building. Anyway, as I said, it's really hard to remember what was here before, because after a while this is just what's here. It always has been. That's the way it feels. There's a bed and breakfast over there. There's a dragon on it. I think it's called Dragons something. 14th Avenue, this is where I got my old car totaled once. I got hit by somebody coming from this way as I was crossing here, because they had come around the corner while I was distracted looking at somebody over there to see what they were doing. And I didn't check again, and there they were. No one was hurt, but it was very upsetting. Several years ago now. Another apartment building. I guess that's a house or two houses. I guess it's a duplex, that one. And some nice older houses along here. My nieces used to live here once upon a time, before they were married. So I've been in this one. Now up here, as the fire engine goes by, is 13th Avenue. And I might, depending on what the traffic's doing, I might not cross here. I'll go up to the corner, but we'll see. Another older apartment building, complete with pigeons. And this is the Artesian, which is an old church that's now a theater. There is a crosswalk here, so I should be able to cross here safely. Oh, it's going to work out anyway. There's nobody coming. So there's the corner of 13th and Albert. I'm normally walking over there, more likely than not when I come this way. So I tripped over the curb. The tall building is Viterra. Used to be the Saskatchewan wheat pool. First time live for a while. Well, I wasn't up yesterday. I didn't do anything yesterday. Tuesdays were short. What did I do Monday? Oh, Monday was all the way down to South Albert. That's what that was, because the car was at the shop. Apartment building over there. The times I've walked down this street have often been at dark, because there's a union hall up here where Regina singers rehearses, and we had rehearsal last night there, in fact. So sometimes I walk there. Probably won't this year because my daughter is also singing, so we travel together. Anyway, often when I've walked along here, it's been in the dark instead of a bright sunny morning without a, started to say without a cloud in the sky, but that would be a lie. Not very many clouds in the sky. I'll carry on up Angus because I walk up Albert more often. So go by the Viterra building now. There's Victoria Avenue up here. Old street. Lots of old houses along it. Those that remain. Crosswalk here too, so still check for traffic all the same. Victoria and Albert down there. So that's looking down towards the Hotel Saskatchewan, where I often walk to, and the coffee shop I often go to, but I'm not going down there today. It's an abandoned house. This is the back of one of the credit union buildings there, Connexus Credit Union. There's City Hall beyond that. North Canadian Orioles building to the right. The Union Hall over here where we rehearse. It's that low building over there. We were there last night. Dental laboratory and a hair salon in there. Parking lot now to my right for the Connexus Credit Union building. Bit of a surprise when I pulled up here last night and realized I couldn't pull into the driveway I normally do because of that construction over there. They've got their one entrance torn up there. Maybe they're not going to allow you to drive in that way anymore. No, surely they will. They just have to fix it. Four-way stop up here. Always a good place. This is another old church, but it is still a church. I'm not sure what denomination now. I think it was a Church of God originally. The Mental Health Association building is over there. Another old apartment building to my right. A couple of them. Building a new school, I think, down there. I should walk down that way. Maybe when I come back, I'll go that way. I don't know if I'll live stream that or not. I might or I might not. I do have to go to the grocery store on the way back to pick up some Parmesan for tonight's pasta. Next major street up here is Elphinstone. Again, that's Albert over there. I have to cross at the corner of Albert and Elphinstone, but we will delay that till the last minute, going over to that side. Reed Haven Assembly, that sounds like a church there too. 10 a.m. to noon, good sign. But it's a church. Those would be weird business hours. Not so weird for a church. There was a place over here that, maybe it was even that building, maybe it was this one, where we bought kitchen appliances once, but that's long gone. Our cabinetry, I don't remember which it was. They may have been the people who installed the cabinetry and didn't measure it quite right, so our refrigerator didn't fit when it was delivered, which was annoying. Regina Auto Body has been there forever. Building has been redone, but as it says, established 1924, so I think it's always been there, probably for 100 years. I think that's a parking guy writing tickets. Doesn't affect me. The gold building up there is Saskatchewan Government Insurance. Burger King ahead of us, of course. Well, not of course, but that is what's there. Could be anything, but it is a Burger King. That's been there a long time too. Although there was something else on that corner when I first came to Regina, and again, I don't actually remember what it was. Long since torn down, anyway. Might as well. It's a little backwards, but I'll take this little bit of sidewalk here. Used to be a movie theater on that corner when I first moved to Regina. That's where I saw Return of the Jedi, I think. Or was that the one downtown? I don't know. Anyway, saw a lot of movies there before it went away. Looks like I will be crossing in this direction as the train goes over the overpass, or the cars go under the underpass, overpass, depending on how you look at it. Pretty good timing there. That's the main CP Transcontinental Railway line there. Look up, watch the train as we walk under it. That used to be a superstore over there. Now it's offices. Various things on that corner. At some point I have to cross Albert. It hasn't been the right time yet, but eventually I'm forced to it if I don't cross earlier, so hopefully the lights work out. Yeah, that started life as a superstore, but it's not a superstore anymore. There's a Starbucks in it. Used to have a Subway in it that I'd get sandwiches for my daughter from, because she used to dance up here. not here exactly, but there's a two-story building just past this, and the top floor was their dance studio for a while after their original studio burned down. They were also at the conservatory for a while, but then they moved here, and then they got their own building, which I walk by all the time because it's very close to our house. That was convenient at the time. But yeah, up above here, it now says Sing Like a Star up there, way up there. But Class Act was in there for quite a while. Humpty's, I think it's been there forever. I've only ever eaten in it once or twice. All par kind of thing, usually. And there's an Asian restaurant on the next corner. Not restaurant, grocery store. Maybe I'll try crossing here. That'll probably change fairly soon. Cross here rather than going all the way up to Dudney to cross. I will have to cross Dudney at some point. Two, 1, 0. And now it's our turn. Okay. Now on Albert, must have rained last night because there's water here too, so I didn't imagine it. It wasn't just falling leaves that I heard and interpreted it as rain. This wouldn't be wet otherwise. Because there's nothing here that gets sprinkled, so. Probably explains why the weather, the air seems so clean and fresh too, if we had rain last night. There's a keg over here, that's a steakhouse chain in Canada. I don't know that I've ever been in that keg. Again, maybe once. I still think of it as new, but of course it's now been years that it's been there. Subway and a cannabis store up here in the corner now. I think it used to be a different sub shop here, and Subway was back there, but now this is a Subway. I've eaten at a lot of Subways. They're a good place to get something cheap and fresh ingredients and not too calorific. I used to eat a Subway sandwich for lunch when I was writer in residence in Saskatchewan. There was a Subway about 2 blocks from the library. And then that's a cannabis store. I don't know how they stay in business. Not for me. Never touched pot, never planned to. McDonald's over there. That's been there a long time, but they've rebuilt the building completely, as they are wont to do as their styles change. Maybe we'll cross here in a minute because they're turning left, which means this will change momentarily. We're headed over there, not too far now. There's our light. Regina Pats there are the local Western Hockey League team. The name comes from the Princess Patricia, the regiment from here. So Patricia would have been Queen Elizabeth's daughter, maybe? So they got attached to the regiment and then to the hockey team. They're mostly called the Pats. Nobody calls them the Patricias, and I doubt that's even, Patricias, I doubt is even part of their name, really. I think I'd go up here and walk down the railway track. Where we're headed is another block down. That's a fairly new hotel, too. The plan was always to redevelop the old rail yards over here That's about the only thing that's happened. There's a restaurant over there too I've never been in. Ooh, this goldsmith place used to be a computer store way, way back when I still lived in Weyburn. I bought Commodore 64 stuff there, maybe even a Commodore computer. I used to get my software there. Long and McQuaid Music Center. I took some guitar lessons there, but they didn't take. It was too expensive and I just had to let it go. I lost a regular paying freelance gig at the time that I was counting on. So that was one of the ways I saved money, was by stopping my guitar lessons. Still have the guitar, still want to learn to play. Don't know how practical that is anymore, because I have arthritis in my thumbs. It doesn't bother me most of the time, but it can bother me quite a lot. And when you're playing guitar, of course, you're gripping the neck. That's the tallest building in Regina over there, the Hotel Delta, downtown. My wife is over there behind those gold windows somewhere. Don't think she's looking out or I'd wave. That's the Saskatchewan building where she works. And there's the City Hall and the SGI building again. Let's walk along the railroad tracks for a change. So, back in 1912, if you look down there, there's trucks between us, but you can just see the top of the legislative building. The tornado that devastated Regina basically came right along the railway tracks here and damaged this building heavily. Some sort of warehouse. It has various things in it now. So this is a spur line. Trains do come along it, so I don't plan to walk on the track. We'll walk beside it here just to be different. I don't know that I've ever done this. Well, I know I've done it, but I don't know that I've done it live streaming, maybe once. It's hard to remember after coming up on 2.5 years. Several of these buildings are in my book, Historic Walks of Regina and Moose Jaw, but darned if I can remember the details now. That's the Exchange, which is a nightclub now. Obviously, that wasn't what it was built as. My only appearance in the hit TV show Corner Gas was filmed in there. You see the back of my head, and I'm drinking a beer looking at a bulletin board as the two cop characters walk in to the club behind me. So it's like, I don't know, 2 seconds. That was my only appearance. Just about everybody I knew in the theater community was on Corner Gas. Some of them had recurring roles, but I was not one of those. Just an extra. I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that the main director auditioned for a little theater production I was doing, and I did not cast him. I did cast his son. So, that should count for something. Okay, going up this way to Everyday Kitchen, a little further up, is our goal. I think it's on this street, not the next one up. Just a little further. Farther, I should say. That's a rule I learned, and I try to hang on to it with both hands. Farther for actual distance, further for metaphorical distance. So let's walk a little farther. Let's take this discussion further. It's an example I usually use when I'm critiquing something. don't think it's the next block up. Pretty sure it's this one. This place used to sell hydroponics. I don't know if it still does or not. What does it say? Salon Hayes. Nope, it's not a hydroponic store anymore. It's like a salon. It's some sort of union hall. Wood cogger, acoustics, ceilings, partitions, united floors. It's nothing worse than a disunited floor. Now I know I walked on that side last time I was up here, so it must be up this way. Honk. Again, downtown is always just over there. Quite warm on this side up against the brick walls. Ah, yeah, here it is, right up here in this next building. So that's where we will stop. Another old building over there. The building up there to the left with the terracotta peaked square corners turrets used to be a bakery. It used to always smell. You used to always smell baking when you came along here, but not now. Okay, we'll stop there. Thanks for walking with me. Bye for now.